You in very sweetly and gently with the nigun, which is a melody, a song without words. You hum to it, or you just listen and allow it gently to permeate your heart, your soul, your body, and allow your mind to settle and recognize this very special moment.
Try this with us. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I think your response somewhat ambivalent, but this is for all our guests and family, and all of you both and who are joining our community over magic of Zoom, and those of you who are with us for the first time, and our dear, loyal, sweet members. Shabbat Shalom. To each other, and there is the Ruach, there is the Spirit already present. So, of course, so many of you here together for Seth Vital becoming a bar mitzvah, as well as dear family comes from out of town, from various walks of life, and how beautiful this moment. And it does not happen outside of this gorgeous space we call our home and 864 Shepherd. So for those of you who are with us for the first time, and those of you who daven, who pray here every single Shabbat or come very often and members, this information you know, but it's worth repeating. In your hands is a Reconstructionist prayer book. It is a marvelous compilation, above all, Jewish prayer book, of prayers, meditations, poems, explanations, beautifully sounded in English, but sounding like Hebrew transliteration, as well as a traditional Hebrew. We will announce pages, but above all of us, always on the right page. It is you, it is your open heart and your spirit. So when we ask you to sing with us, please do not be worried that you're off key. We're supposed to be just tiny bit off key. We must, but it is what we feel and the level of enthusiasm that takes place and felt throughout. So it is a moment of celebration. At times we will also ask you to clap with us, because in the movement you participate. What do you do with the prayer book? If you're standing, you're holding, you put it on your seat, and you free your beautiful hands to be involved. So we continue with Birchot HaShachar as we warm up, morning prayers on page 153.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Olamim, Amavir Shenai Menai, Udumame Afapai.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Olamim, הנותן לשכביבין הלכבים בין יום ולילה.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim roka haaretz al hamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim הפוקח עברי.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim al bisharumi.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim matir asuri.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim zokef kefufim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim hamavim et tzadikav.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim shasali kol tzorki.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim עוזר ישראל בגבורה.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim ot Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim שעשה לי בצמו.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim shasani ben chori.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim שעשה לי ישראל.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ke'olamim anoten le'ahev koach.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר יצרת אדם בחכמה ורבו נקבים נקבים חלולים חלולים גאלו וידעו לפני כיסך כבודך שאימה ייפתח אחד מהמה או ייסתם אחד מהמה אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך ברוך אתה אדוני רופך ובשר ומהפליא לעשות.
Page 165, Elohai Neshama, gratitude for our souls returning to us. Sing along, goes like this. Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Shenatata bi Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Shenatata bi Tehorahi Tehorahi Tehorahi. Our voices are getting warmer. Let's join together. Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Shenatata bi Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Shenatata bi Tehorahi 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 Ata berata Ata yisarta Ata nefachta Nefachta bi. You created me, you shaped me. Ata berata Ata berata Ata yisarta Ata nefachta Nefachta bi. Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Shenatata bi Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Shenatata bi Tehorahi Tehorahi Tehorahi.
continuing on page 177, Baruch She'amar. Baruch She'amar Mehaya Haolam, Baruch Hashem Bereshit, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Omer V'Yosef, Baruch Gozer Umechayim, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Merachem al Haaretz, Baruch Merachem al Habriot, Baruch Meshalem Sachato Mirehav, Baruch Ma'avir Afela Umeviora, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Chaylan V'Kayam Lan Meisach, Baruch Poder U'Matir, Baruch Shemo.
Continuing on page 181. Baruch atah Adonai melech Yachid chol amim melech meshubach umfarar et shemo gadol. Baruch atah Adonai melech milol batishbachot.
Esa Einai, page 215. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come?
Esa Einai el Harim ve'ayin me'ayin yavo ezri. Esa Einai el Harim ve'ayin me'ayin yavo ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Esa Einai el Harim me'ayin me'ayin yavo ezri. Esa Einai el Harim me'ayin me'ayin yavo ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz.
Page 231, Hallelujah, a psalm in praise of Adonai.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, bekosho. Hallelujah, berki amuzo. Hallelujah. Tzilei Shama. Hallelujah, V'tzil Tzilei Trua. Kol Hanshama Te'alel Yad. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Continuing on page 235. Nishmat kol chai, tevarech et shimecha, Adonai Eloheinu, veruach kol basar, tevarech utromechem, zichrecha makenu tamid, min ha'olam, v'yat ha'olam, Toel atoel, umipaladecha, en lanu melech, goelehu Moshio, potechu matzilum farnechum rachem, bechol et sahara vetzuka, En lanu melech, en lanu melech, Nelatu Elohu. We turn now to page 241, the top of the page. Nialechan shebechan varecha, un varech etzem kodshecha kamul David. Barchi nafshi Adonai v'chokra v'hoyet shem kodsho. However, tatzumaru zecha hagadol b'kvot shemecha, hagibor lanetzach v'nora b'norodecha, hamelech hayoshef hakiseram v'niso. Shochenot maharom v'kadosh shemo. V'chat uvranu tzarikim baron alei sharim navatehila, b'fi sharim titromam, udefret tzarikim tibaroch, uvilshana chasidim tikarosh, uvkerev kedoshim titalal, uv'makalot rivevot amcha bet Yisrael. Continuing silently on page 243. Ishtabach shimcha lahad makenu el melech Berachot ve'hodawot me'ata v'yahad olam baruch atah Adonai Yamelech Adonai b'ishbachot elahod Adonai niflaot habocher b'shirei zimro melech olamim. Page 245. Yikarol ve'yikara Hashem merabah.
Amen.
Yamar yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayedocho beit Yisrael b'hagalacha v'yismachan kori v'imaru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach Le'olam lo me'omaya yibarach ve'yishtabach v'yipahar v'yitramam ve'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalal shmer krusho le'lo mekabrachata v'shirato tushbechata v'nechemata da'amira miyomo
Amen. We invite you to rise and turn to page page 247 with the Baruch Hu. We'll begin with Nigun we started this service with.
We turn now to page 265. Tiparach surenu makenu v'go haleinu. Kulam alvim, kulam berurim, kulam giburim. V'cholam osim b'mavira retzon kolom. V'cholam pochim yabiyam b'dusho v'toro. V'shirav zimerom v'achim u'mshabchim u'mforim u'maritzim u'mahatishim u'mamlichim et shamav al hamelech hagadol hagibor v'yanor hakadoshu v'cholam mekablim aleihem המחות שמיים זה מזה וכולם מקבלים עליהם המחות שמיים זה מזה וכולם מקבלים עליהם המחות שמיים זה מזה וכולם מקבלים עליהם המחות שמיים זה מזה ורונים ועבד רשוס לזה להקדיש לו צרחה מנחת רוח בשפה ורבין עמו קרושה כולם כאחות עונים ויורים בהירו קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו וערפנו בחר הקודש בראש גדול, מנסים למצרפים, לעומתו משבחים ואומרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, נהיה ברוך נימות ייתנו. Page 269. המחדש בטובו בכל יום תמיד, מעשה וראשית כאמור, לעושה אורים גדולים כליל חסדו, אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכחו לנו במהרה להורות, ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. Let's join together now that we are sufficiently warmed up for a rousing rendition of Ahava Rabbah. Page 273. Ahava Rabbah Haftanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chamla Gdola Vitera, Chamata Aleinu, Havinu Makeinu, Avur Avotenu V'imotenu, Shebaruchu Vecha, Shebaruchu Vecha, Avinu Makeinu. ותלמדנו חוקי חיים, כן תחננו תלמדנו, כן תחננו תלמדנו. אבינו אב הרחמן, המרחם הרחם עלינו. אבינו אב הרחמן, המרחם הרחם עלינו, ותן בליבנו להבינו להשכיל, להבינו להשכיל, לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך, תלמוד תורתך באהבה, והערנו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נבוש ולא הגדול והנורא בטחנו, נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. ואבינו לשלום לו מעבר כנפות הארץ. We gather the four corners of our talit like the four corners of the earth. ותולכנו כממיית לארצנו, כי איכו פה ישועות אותו, וקרבתנו לשולחן גדול, סלע ביך אמת, להודות לך, הוא יחדך ביהבה, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
It's our pleasure to welcome up Seth Vital to help lead us in the Shema Ve'Havta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ונשינתם לברך, ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושכבך ובקומך, שאתה מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפו בין עיניך, וכתבת מזוזות ביתך,
We continue silently until page 285.
ים שמריש בנו למען ימני מלחמת לכם ולמה שנשבענו לכם כי השמיים על הארץ יאמר נעם שלמה לדבר בני ישראל ציצי אגבי ציצי ים לכם ציצי לידם אותו אני לא ימי להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם
So at this moment of our service, we pause as we change a bit of a mood, and we'll be moving towards Amidah. It's a standing a prayer, and again we will sing, and you will select your most favorite of brachot that are listed. And before that, we try to offer both a reading and or a poem. And so this note comes from Isidore Isaac Rabi, who was a physicist, Nobel Prize winner, who says the following: what the world needs is a fusion of the science and humanities. The science expressed the creative urge in a human being to construct a universe which is comprehensible in terms of the human intellect. Without them, humankind, would find itself bewildered in a world of natural forces beyond comprehension, victims of ignorance, superstition, and fear. The humanities express the symbolic, poetic, and prophetic qualities of the human spirit. Without them, we would not be conscious of our history. We would lose our aspiration and the grace of expression that moves our human heart. And what we're here to do this morning is to do exactly that. Humanities, poem, expression, song, things that are both logical and illogical, to soar and to capture the moment that is so exquisite and to be part of it. So we continue on page 291.
Sing that good one more time.
We continue with the Amidah beginning on page 295. Adonai sefatai tivach ufi yagite hilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei avoteinu ve'imotechenu Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rachav, Elokei Leah האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל העליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדך אבות ואימות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעם אדוני רב להושיע מוריד הטל מחכה חיים בחסד מחיה כל חי ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשם יפה מחמוך בגבורות ומידו מלך מלך ממית ומחייך ומצמיח ישוע ונאמן אתה לחיו כוחי ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה כוחי. Continuing with the Kedusha on page 303. נקדש שמך בעולם כשם שמגישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב היד נביאך וקרא הסכר נעזביה המהר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא כל הארץ כבודו אז בכל ראש גדול וחזק משמיעים קול מתנשאים למצרפים למתם ברוך יאמרו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו ממקומך מכרנו תופיע תופיעו ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך מתי תמלוך בציון בקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון תתקהל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך תתקהל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך לדור ודור נצח נצחים ועינינו תיראנו תיראנו מלכותך כדברו שירי עוזך ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור הללויה
לדור ודור לדור ודור
דור ודור נגיד לך
לדור ודור
דור ודור
לדור ודור
דור ודור
לדור ודור נגיד לך ולנצח נצחים ולנצח נצחים קדושתך We continue with Vishamru on page 307. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat.
Put your books down.
Asot et HaShabbat ledorotam be'vitolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Asot et HaShabbat ledorotam be'vitolam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael. Oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Asot et HaShabbat ledorotam be'vitolam. Sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Asot et HaShabbat ledorotam be'vitolam. Vayom Ashvi Shabbat vayinachash. Shabbat vayinachash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Asot et HaShabbat ledorotam be'vitolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Asot et HaShabbat ledorotam be'vitolam.
We will continue in silent reflection in the coming pages, your moment in time for some personal prayer, thoughts, meditation. טוב כלוך רחמך וימרחם כרותם חסדך מעולם קיווינו לך ויה כולם יברך ויתרומם שמך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד וכל החיים ידעו חסרו והללו את שמך בחמת על ישועתנו ועזרתנו סלע ברוך אתה אדוני אתה שמך הוא לכונה ולהודות.
So at this moment, for those of you who are our guests, it might be a new minhag, new custom for you. And those of you who are part of our community know exactly what to do, and you begin to expand the fringes of your talit and the warmth of your embrace to those who are standing right next to you. It is a communal embrace. We're on page 319. This is known as Birchat HaShalom, as we embrace one another, blessing of peace, as we share this extraordinary moment. Please make sure nobody stands alone unless they have special needs, and this is a great moment to make friends and connect.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha Yisa V'yasem lach shalom. Ken yehi ratzon. Ken yehi ratzon. V'yasem lachem shalom. Page 323 on the bottom, Oseh Shalom. We invite you to remain standing. Oseh Shalom, page 323.
Page 381. Yikara vikara shemera ba be'alam arivrachir tevim lichmachuri b'chayachon yamachon achayrecho bed Yisrael bagalav isman kori v'himero yehesh merabba mevorach be'olam lo me'omaya yitbarach Yiparach vishtabach vipa vitraman vitnase Firadav v'level l'arshmer kurisho Lehelo miko b'chalav v'shirato תשבחתה ונחמתה רמירם בימה והימרו בצרה נבנהו בית ישראל כנבבהני ושמע והימרו יהי שומר רבה משמעהו וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל והימרו נעשה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל והימרו Amen. You may be seated.
What a beautiful shacharit, and the sanctuary is filled. There's so many celebrations and just feast. It is a feast this morning. So we continue, of course, with the Torah reading, and my pleasure to ask Judy Howard to come forward as our Parnasit this morning. And to all of you who are with us for the first time, warmest welcome. And to you on Zoom, and to all of you who warmed the sanctuary with prayers, both spirited and now in person. So we continue.
And I cannot help myself but to warmly welcome Judy back for the first time in the sanctuary.
Thank you, Rabbi, and thank you, Rob. It's a pleasure to be here. Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
and welcome to those of you in the sanctuary, as well as those joining us on Zoom for this Shabbat Behar Bechukotai, for the Ofruf of Simon and Jessica, and for Seth Vital becoming a bar mitzvah. For those of you who haven't already, there's a chumash that you can help yourself to over there, as well as an announcement sheet. And to our friends on Zoom, our participants on Zoom, the announcement sheet will be posted in the chat by our volunteer Zoom host, Marianne Levitsky. Thank you, Marianne. I call upon Seth's great aunt and uncle, Tanya and Soren Siegel, to come up to open the Ark, and Seth's grandfather, Joseph Vital, to get ready to carry the Torah during the processional. And any children who might want to come up, the rabbi will have some beautiful Torahs to give to them as well. May I remind everyone of our Darchei Noam practice of wearing a kippah and a talit when you come up for honors. We're on page 383.
Right. Can I just add that those of you who are holding babies, and this is new to you, or toddlers who seem to take off and explore, please, we're very friendly, number one, and number two, we just would love to see children up here. So you can hold a baby, you can run after one, and this is done with joy and spirit. So please come up, we would love to have a processional with you.
Once again, page 383. Ein kamach ve'leim Adonai, ve'en kamahasecha, machudecha mahachot kol olamim, umemshodecha bechodor varor. Adonai melech, Adonai mahaloch, Adonai melech leolam vad. Adonai os leamo yitzen. Adonai yevarech rama v'shalom. Av harachamim netiva virtzonacha etzion. Divnei chomat Yerushalayim, ki avecha levad batachnu, melech ram v'nisa adon olamim. Please rise as we turn to page 385, and the Ark is open. Vayehi bin Saharon vayomer Moshe Kumo Adonai ve'afotzu oivecho ve'anosu mesanecha mipanecho ki mitzion tetzei Toro Ki mitzion tetzei Toro urevar Adonai miYerushalayim Baruch shenatan Toro Toro Baruch shenatan Toro Toro Le'amo Yisrael In you alone I place my trust, and to your holy and precious name I call out praises. We join together the bottom of page 387 with the words Be'anarachetz. Be'anarachetz Velishmei Kadisho Kadisha Yakira Anahamahar Tushbechan Be'anarochetz Be'anarochetz Belishmei Kadisha Kadisha Yakira Anahamahar Tushbechan Yeravakadamach Tetehiftach libi behoiraita V'tachashli mishalin dechelibi ולהיבדל כל עמך ישראל לטוב ולחיים ולשלום. Amen. We turn now to page 393, where momentarily we will recite the Shema responsively. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh. Just true. Gadol Adonai O neromema shemo yachetov lecha Adonai agedula ve'agvura ve'hatiferet ve'anetzach ve'havot ki cho b'shamayim u'va'aretz כי כה בשמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה וימין נעשה לכו לראש רוממו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו השתחוו והשתחוו לאדם רגליו הקדוש הוא רוממו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. As the Torah is being placed on the reading table, you may be seated.
There is this wonderful sharing of kind of changing of gears, and there's so much to say to one another. Judy, you holding these gorgeous plates and crowns, how lovely, and the sound of silver brushing against each other, and wooden, the Torah speaks, its wooden poles communicate as they tap. So these are extraordinary moments, and I do know that in the heart of a young man, there are butterflies, if not all over one's body, as it should be. And what a wonderful time in family's life. And in order for us to prepare a student for this moment in time, for them to become bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, and this bar mitzvah this morning, we ask quite a bit. We ask them to put aside number of hours of usually would be a play or connection to friends for a bit. And we ask them to concentrate and to understand something that very often incomprehensible even to adults, but speaks to us through ancestral voices and echo, and invites us if we allow ourselves to come in. And then we ask them to stand up in front of family and friends. And that's not a small thing. It's a huge thing if you remember yourself at 13. But in that, there is such an exquisite act of courage, and we are so incredibly delighted. To do so, we're going to ask Seth, your family, to come forward and present you with a four-corner garment that is worn by your grandfather, was worn by your great-grandfather, worn by your father, and now will be handed to you. And then you're going to deliver your Dvar Torah, your teaching, and your Bar Mitzvah. So I'm going to ask your family to come forward, your proud parents, Paul and Michael, for this moment.
Seth, seeing you up here today looking so dapper and handsome, Mom and I are amazed by the wonderful young man you're becoming. It took a lot of hard work to get here. And as Rabbi Tina said, it takes a lot of courage for a teenager to get up in front of everyone and chant ancient words. We're very proud of you. Remember that you're in front of family, friends, and community members who are ready to cheer you on and support you. Mom and I are here to present you with this beautiful talit. It was designed by an Israeli designer, and it was chosen by you and your grandparents, Nana and Anu. Show it to everyone, it's beautiful. And I'd ask that as you put on the talit, you also take a moment to remember all those who are no longer with us, but who form an unbroken chain, with you being the latest link. Your grandmother, Felisa, whose gold links you were close to your heart. Your grandfather, Simon. Your great-grandparents, Bika and Biku, you were fortunate to have met. And all those who came before and whose voices echo in the timeless prayers you're about to recite today. You'll place this talit on your shoulders for the first time publicly this morning, but you'll have it for the rest of your life. Every time you put it on, feel its warmth, let it embrace you, and remember the love of your parents who presented it to you today. The generosity and wisdom of your grandparents who gave it to you, and the countless generations who came before you, passing down these beautiful traditions. May this love, generosity, and tradition be an anchor and a source of strength for you throughout your life. And with that strength, may you shine your light, your beautiful light, on the world. So I think you say the prayer now.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
So, come over here. You know what? You're tall, right? You're tall. Okay. You're good. You have everything you need. All right. Into the mic.
Shabbat Shalom. My parsha is Bahar Behukotai, which is centered around the idea of a time when everyone and everything gets a rest. We learn about the sabbatical year, which occurs in a 7-year cycle. During this year, you can't plant anything on your land, and anyone can take the things that naturally grow there. After 7 sabbatical years, on the 50th year, which is called the Jubilee year, it's very special, because on that year, all slaves are freed, and all land is returned to its original owners. Because of this, you can never really buy or sell land, only lease it. The idea of not using your land every 7th year makes me think of how much better the world would be if people still did that, because it would prevent people from overusing land and natural resources. When land and resources are overused, it threatens biodiversity through habitat loss, which can put many species at risk of extinction. It's also known that allowing land to not always be used lets it get more nutrients and ends up growing better plants. One thing in my parsha that stood out to me is the fact that land couldn't be permanently bought. At the beginning of Israel, the land was split up between all the families, and even if a family sold their land, they would eventually get it back. This stops people from being permanently homeless and having no hope of recovering their home. It also makes there less risk that a few people will control all the money and just be too powerful. The sabbatical year in Jubilee helps change the focus of most people from owning things to taking care of their families and communities. Another idea in my parsha that interested me was that it allows slavery, but you need to free your slaves every Jubilee year. At face value, this seems hypocritical, because a few weeks ago during Passover, we celebrated freedom and condemned slavery. The thing is, this rule about freeing slaves exists to prevent people ending up oppressed the way they were in Egypt. Another thing about slavery in ancient Israel is that there were strict rules about it, and it wasn't slavery in the modern sense, because you couldn't buy or sell people, and you couldn't force them into working for free. What it meant was it was like the American idea of indentured servitude, which is an agreement that they will work for you if you agree to house and feed them. And you need to feed them, educate their children, and essentially treat them like a guest in your house. And this parsha is mostly about rules, but all these rules achieve the same thing, and that's making there less greed and poverty in the world. And even though we feel like we understand these rules, they're technically hooks, which is a rule that you can't understand. And the reason I think these understandable rules are said to be not understood is because they're more important than we can believe right now. And greed and poverty are the cause of most of the world's problems right now. So I think that this parsha really shows that even though the Torah is ancient, its teachings still have a lot of value and deserve a place in society. Finally, I would like to thank some people that helped me get ready for my bar mitzvah. First of all, I want to thank Rabbi Tina for her wisdom and encouragement, and Danielle for still liking me, even though I annoy you. And of course, my parents for your support, love, and patience. Shabbat Shalom.
It's round one. Take a deep breath. Exhale. There's more to go. Beautifully delivered. And I so much appreciate, of course, we always prepare our students, and usually their eyes will be locked into their page, right? Like they are almost their symbiotic experience between the page and the student. And at times they will speed up, and then I have to stand up and ask them to just slow down because we want to learn from them. And so Seth beautifully delivered, and you were connecting it as you were speaking, so we could learn from you in appropriate manner. So beautifully done, and we continue with Torah reading and celebrations.
Thank you, Rabbi, and Yasher Koach Seth, and we look forward to hearing you further when we get to the Maftir and the Haftorah portion. In the meantime, sit and breathe, because you've earned it. Wonderful. Again, for those of you who want to take the announcement sheets, they're just over by the door, and we will be starting now with the Torah service. For the first Aliyah, we have an Ofrof this morning, and I would like to call Simon Sharkey Gottlieb and Jessica Lusthouse for the first Aliyah. Please come forward. And we're keeping the Aliyot on that podium there, and you should have the sheet there for the Aliyah. ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן. הכל הבו גודל אלוהינו תנו כבוד לתורה, נא לעמוד. שלמה שמחה בן חנה לאה ואהרון, והדס בת חיים וחווה לעלייה הראשונה. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
ואתם אבקים אדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום. Our reading this morning is in the book of Vayikra. We are reading this morning from a select portion of Parshat Behar, and we find ourselves beginning our reading in Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 25, beginning with verse 39, page numbers for the various chumashim found on your supplement sheets.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach
Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirvanu lavodato, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. וכי ימוך אחיך עמך ונמכר לך לא תעבוד בו עבודת עבד כסך יקדושו ויהיה עמך עד שנת היובל יעבוד עמך ויעצור ממך ובניו עמו ושוב משפחתו ואל אחוזת אבותיו ישוב כי עבדיהם אשר הוצאתי אותם מארץ מצרים לא ימכרו ממכרת עבד.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And for the second Aliyah, which will be starting
Just a second, Judy, just a second. I have a blessing for the couple. Thank you.
Yeah.
So can I just ask you to come just a little bit closer? This is a mini rehearsal for us before your wedding. Right, within no time. Wow. I walked in this morning in the sanctuary and it wasn't empty. And I like coming earlier because it gives me a sense of centeredness, and I can breathe in spirit of all who are here and all those who are not here, but here. So this sanctuary was not empty because I could, Simon, feel your grandfather sitting right over here, meditating because he always came earlier. And Jessica, while Simon's family has incredibly deep roots in this community, they built it, formed it, shaped it, served it, loved it, struggled, challenged, affectionately held it, and built it. We are standing on a dream they created so they could see you and they can see Seth. and generations that can grow up here. There is expression in Russian, in a beautiful Russian before Putin, that says, and before Stalin, I mean, she's ours, она наша. The feeling that you're next to somebody that is felt so close and comfortable and belonging that you feel they've always been part of this place, even so they just came to know it. You were always ours, and now you stand next to Simon, who was raised here. Your small footsteps are still heard at Hove Street, and now with your beloved here. משברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב ואמותינו שרה רבקה רחל ולאה, הוא יברך הדס בת חווה וחיים ואת שלמה שמחה אחרון בן אחרון וחנה לאה, אשר בקרוב יבוא בבריאות, ויהי ביתם אשר יבנו בישראל משכן אחווה ואמונה, נווה שלום וקדושה, בית אשר בו יגדלו בנים ובנות בריאות ובאשר באחווה, תורה ומעשים טובים ונעמה.
Amen.
May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, bless Jessica and Simon, who soon will enter a covenant together. May the household they shall build be one of joy, of Jewish devotion, companionship, love, affection, meaning, and holiness. And may the children they will have disrupt our service loud and clear, and see your parents and your extended family and us at Darchei Noam chase their voices throughout sanctuary. May you live in health and happiness. And the poem I chose for you from Margie Pierce. The chuppah stands on 4 poles. The home has its 4 corners. The chuppah stands on 4 poles. The marriage stands on 4 legs. The canopy is the cloth of our table when you share fruit and vegetables and challah with each other and with your loved ones. Here the moon sails up out of the ocean, dripping like just washed apple. Here the sun wakes up like a baby. Therefore the chuppah has no sides, it's open. Just like your generosity and love and care for others, your home will be open to all. Oh, my love, we dance under the chuppah standing over us like an animal on its 4 legs, like a table on which we set our love, as a feast, like a tent under which we work. And I'm safe with you and no longer solitary. And in that searing heat of our time, here stands our love. Would you join me?
Simitafu, maso tafu, simintaf, simitafu, maso tafu, simintaf, simitafu, maso tafu, simintaf, yelahano, yehelanu, lecho Yisrael, yehelanu, lecho Yisrael. Israel, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Mazal Tov.
And Darchei Noam has these beautiful gifts for you. So first of all, made by 1 hour members, extraordinary challah board with the emblem of Darchei Noam. So it's here and it's made out of gorgeous wood for your challah. There is also really Shabbat at home, wonderful book of blessings and prayers done by one of my great teachers, Noam Tzion. There is a mezuzah for your home. that is also here, and of course, a bar of chocolate. Love comes with chocolate, so may you use it in good health and great affection from all of us at Darkei Noam.
Thank you very much.
Mazal Tov, Yasher Koach. Our second aliyah, which begins in Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 25, verse 43. I call the grandparents of the bar mitzvah to come over to the aliyah podium, Joseph and Adelina Vital. Na la'amod Yosef ben Chaim Tzvi ve'eti, v'Shena Ana bat Menashe ve'eti, la'aliyah harishona, la'shashniya, sorry.
Baruch et Adonai Emavoram.
Baruch Adonai Barach Elam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirvanu levodato ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Amen. לא תרדבו בברך ויראת מאלוהיך ועבדך ואמרך אשר יהיו לך מאת הגויים אשר סביבותיכם מהם תקנו הבל ואמה וגם מפני התושבים הגרים עמכם מהם תקנו וממשפחתם אשר עמכם אשר הולידו בארצכם והיו לכם לאחוזה ונחתם אותם לבניכם אחריכם לרשת אחוזה לעולם בהם תעבודו ובאחיכם בני ישראל איש באחיו לא תרדבו בפרך.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Yishar kochachem. We now turn our attention to those who are in need of healing, those whose names are on the Mishaberach list, and those whose names are in our hearts. I invite you to rise if you are comfortable in body or spirit. May all those in need of healing and those providing their care be blessed with wisdom, stamina, loving kindness, and communal support. Guard them beneath the wings of your Shekhinah, sending them comfort and relief speedily in our days. Blessed are you, source of life, who helps us to bring light where there is darkness and healing where there is brokenness. May all be granted faith, hope, and refuah shlema. We pray for healing for those who have been affected by COVID-19. We pray that those who are healthy will remain so. And let us say all together, Amen. Please be seated. And for our third aliyah, which is at Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 25, verse 47, I call Seth's uncles and aunts, Gustavo Rochweger, Andres and Penny Rochweger, and Leonora Rochweger with her husband Hector Santesteban. Na la'amod Eliah ben Shimon veYehuva, Aryeh ben Shimon veYehuva, Pnina Yehudit bat Yosef vechana, veMeira bat Shimon veYehuva, la'aliyah hashlishi. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch et Adonai Hamorah.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorah Le'olam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirvanu la'avodato ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. וכי תסיק יוד גלפתו שוב עמך ומחכיך עמו ונמכר לגר שוב עמך הולך עד משפחת גר אחרי נמכר גאולה תהיה לו אחד מאחד מאחיו יקלנו דודו בן דודו יקלנו משאר בשרו ממשפחתו יגאלנו השיג ידו ונגאל וכשוב עם קונהו משנת עמכרו לו עד שנרא יובל והיו כסף ממכרו במספר שנים כי מסחיר יהיה עמו.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת בחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Yasher koach. And for our fourth aliyah, which begins at Leviticus Vayikra, chapter 25, verse 51. Yes. I call upon Seth's very proud parents and with Paula, Michael and Paula, with Seth's younger sister, Julia Vital. Na la'amod, Menashe Yechiel Michael, Ben Yosef Veshena Anna, Vedelila Bat Shimon Veyehuva, La'aliyah Harvi'it.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed. Yes.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher karvanu la'avodato v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Imad rabot bashanim lefichen yashiv gehulato mikesef miknato v'meot nishar bashanim עד שנטע יובך וחישב לו כפי שניו ישיב גאולתו כשכיר שנה בשנה יהיה עמו לא ירדנו בפרך לעיניך ואם לא יגאל בילד ויצא בשנת היובל
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Please come.
You're welcome.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי.
בחייכון וביומך ובחייתך בית ישראל בגלה בזמן כעיף אמרו אמן. יהי שמירה במבורך לעולם עולם המיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בימה וימרו.
And now for the Maftir Aliyah, which is in Leviticus chapter 27, 32, verse 32, it is my pleasure to call Seth Emmanuel Vital. Na lamod, na lamod, na lamod, Shet Emmanuel ben Menashe Yechiel Michael v'Delila Laliyat Maftir Chazak.
Before he starts, let me just give a little explanation. So we are approaching the end of the book of Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. It is our custom in our community to acknowledge the very final words of each book of the Torah. And we do so with a congregational tradition of the words chazak chazak v'nichazek, from strength to strength, and we will strengthen. It is also our custom, accompanying that final pazuk, that final verse, I will give you a cue to rise as Seth is reciting the final verse of the book of Vayikra. So, I know. Okay.
You guys.
Take your talit. Take your talit. The fringes of your talit and touch.
Right there.
And kiss the fringes. And there's your first part.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Varach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kirvanu La'avodato V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
V'cho masar bakar vason kol asher ya'avor tachat hashaver hasiri yihye kodesh ladonai lo yivaker ben tov lara velo yemirenu ve'im hamer yemirenu v'hayahu utmurato yihye Kodesh lo yigael ele hamizvot asher.
Please rise.
Adonai et Moshe el bnei Yisrael behar Sinai.
Chazak, chazak, v'ni chazak. Just take your fingers again. Take your fingers and touch. Kiss. Good. And second bracha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
You should only see the look on his face. Love it. We have a special mishaberach, a special blessing for Seth, which says, may the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless Seth Vital, who has come forward this day to the reading of the Torah in recognition of his desire to live a worthy Jewish life. And may he continue to grow in body and in spirit, in wisdom and humility, in the love of all creatures, in faithfulness and courage. And may he be regarded as gracious and wise in the eyes of God and all humanity. And to this we all say,
Amen.
Mishaberach Avatenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yakov Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah U'Yivarechet Shat Emmanuel ben Menashe Yechia Michael ודלילה הבחורה בר מצווה אשר עולה לראשונה לתורה הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמרהו ויצילהו מכל צרה וצוקה וישם בליבו אהב טוב יראת טוב ולעשות רצונו ולעבדו בלבב שלם כל הימים וכן אומר אמן סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב סימן טוב ומזל טוב ומזל טוב וסימן טוב And you may be seated.
Now we come to Hagba and Galila. So I call for the honor of Hagba, Kathy Sikora, and for Galila, that's very proud grandmother, Adelina Vital. Please rise. Yeah, just follow Kathy. She'll show you what to do.
Pretty balanced.
Just follow me. Okay, you ready? I'm going to put it back down.
That's fine. וזאת התורת עץ חיים היא למחזיק עמה בתוכיה מאושר. Yai da da da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da. La 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 la. So within a moment, Seth is going to recite a Haftarah for this morning. So my role for just 2 minutes is to ground us where we are. So the connection between Haftorah and Torah are often, or I should say Torah and Haftorah are often thematical. And as Torah portion deals with our people's choices between blessings and curses, the Haftarah brings us Jeremiah assurance that God's people make their choice a good choice for life, for love, for justice, in a courageous way. 2 words about Jeremiah. He echoes through our history, and around 7th century before Common Era. And eventually, he talks about incredible struggle as the land of Israel will fall under Babylonian oppression, and our people will be exiled, and temple will be destroyed. So this Tisha B'Av is in which comes in the summer when we sit on the floor and mourn many destructions. But at the moment, even so, his life was incredibly turbulent, of a man who loved his tradition, his people, and desperately wanted them to live in a beautiful, godly way. So, says thank you for bringing us his voice that is timeless and necessary to hear.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר בחר מילים טובים ורצה ודבריהם הנאמרים באמת. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בתורה משה עבדו ונביאי האמת והצדק. אדוני עוזי ומעוזי ונוסי ביום צרה אליך. גויים יבואו מאפסי ארץ ויאמרו אך שקר נחלו אבותינו הבל ואין במועיל. היעשה לו אדם אלוהים והמה לא אלוהים. לכן הנני מודיעם בפעם הזאת, אודיעם את ידי וגבורתי, וידעו כי שמי אדוני. חטאת יהודה כתובה בית ברזל בציפורן שמיר, חרושה על לוח ליבם וקרנו מזבחותיהם. כזכור ביניהם מזבחותם ואשריהם על עץ רענן, על גבעות הגבוהות. המרי בשדה חילך כל אוצרותיך לבז אתן. במותיך בחטאת בכל גבוליך ושמטת. ובך מנחלתך אשר נתתי לך והעבדתיך את אויביך בארץ אשר לא ידעת, כי אש קדחתם ועל פי עד עולם תוקד. כה אמר אדוני, ארור הגבר אשר יפתח באדם ושם בשר זרועו, ומן אדוני יסור ליבו. והיה כערר בערבה ולא ירא כי יבוא טוב. ושחט הררי במדבר, ארץ מלאכה ולא תשב. ברוך הגבר אשר יפתח באדוני, והיה אדוני מבטחו. והיה כאש שתול על מים, ועל יובל ישלח שרשיו, ולא ירא כי יבוא חום. והיה עליהו רענן, ובשנה בארץ לא ידאג, ולא ימיש מעשות פרי. עקוב הלב מכל וענו הוא מי ידענו. אני אדוני חוקר לב, בוחן כליון, ולתת לאיש כדרכיו, כפרי מעלליו. קורא דגר ולא ילד, עושה אשר ולא ומשפט. בחצי ימיו יעזבנו, ובאחריתו יחיה נבל. כיסא כבוד מרום מראשון, מקום מקדשנו. מקווה ישראל אדוני, כל עוזביך יבושו, וסורי בארץ יכתבו. כי עזבו מקור מים חיים את אדוני, רפאני אדוני verafe hoshieni vivashea ki tehilati ata. Oh my God. Am I done? What? Oh yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik v'chol hadarot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav, emet v'tzedek, ne'eman, atahu Adonai Eloheinu, v'ne'emanim devarecha, v'davar echad midvarecha, achor lo yashuv rekam, ki melech ne'eman v'rachaman ata, baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'ne'eman bechol devarav. Rachem al Tzion ki hi bechayenu, ulamcha Yisrael toshia b'mehera ve'amenu, baruch atah Adonai, umsameach Tzion bevanecha. Samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'eliyahu hanavi avdecha, b'mehera yavo, ve'yageh libenu, ve'yishiv lev avot al banim, ve'lev banim al avotam, uvecha beit tefillah, yikare lechol ha'amim, baruch atah Adonai, mevi shalom la'ad. Al ha'torah, al ha'avodah, ve'al hanvi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lekavod u'tifaret, al hakol, Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach u'mvarchim otach, yitbarach shimcha b'vikol chai, tamid le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai, Mkadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Go. Can we ask children to pick up these delicious treats? Go, help out. Yeah. V'simen tov, mazel tov, v'simen tov, mazel tov.
Actually, I'm gonna leave it
Good job. So we're going to ask Seth, you can open one of these candies because I don't think that it'll ever taste as sweet as this one right this moment, number one. And for your classmates who were right there, right? It's actually, pretty extraordinary class. Unlike any other years at Darchei Noam, and may we continue to do so, but it's a large class. Of course, we were coming out of COVID and there were so many adjustments and restructuring and figuring out things right on the spot. As you know, our beautiful children, they rise up to the occasion if you allow them. And they build extraordinary bonds. They were profoundly tolerant of us in leadership positions. They were there for one another. And you can tell when they dart to pick up sweets at the feet of someone they know with whom they have learned and grew. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to share a few thoughts with you. And I was just watching how carefully Danielle prepared the little stool, Seth, for your sister to stand up on it so she could dump candy over your head. And and of course, you probably felt this entire change of feeling in the room because there was such joy and laughter. And for that moment. So there is tremendous amount of support and affection. So I'm addressing this community, and in the front row there sit your grandparents and your grandparents' closest friends and members of the community, friends and family, extended family of your parents, and just deep, deep, deep communal connections that can only come from getting profoundly involved, rolling up your sleeve and tossing your kind of Jewish fate with us, our community, and creating something extraordinary, and then that translates into this moment. So let me just take you back for a second to the Torah service. Seth, you did a very nice, very, very nice summary. And in Parshat Bechukatai, that's the last of the maftir that you read, it lays out for us, you know, in terms of, and certainly for an ancient thinker and a thought. We have somebody who wants either candy or he's wearing a bow tie, so I have to be careful when I talk to him. This was a little guy over here who just learned to walk, and first time we saw him here, he was, what, 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks. So anyway, there he is. We can't wait to have a bar mitzvah too. But I'm planning ahead. So Torah is very clear. It's very causational. You behave well, you get rewarded. You don't behave well, you won't get rewarded. Well, as you know, life is a little bit, to say the least, very complicated, but that is at this point lays out, you know, there will be blessing and curses, and here's the protocol of how you live to receive the beautiful blessings. And then throughout, there is an absolutely extraordinary statement, which I'm so grateful to Rabbi Shai Held, president of Machon Hadar. If you have a chance to learn in New York, it's an extraordinary institution, and also gives, you know, just classes also on Zoom and so forth. But he drew my attention to this verse that says, I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of land of Egypt to be where you were slaves no more, and broke the bars of your yoke and made you walk upright, which is such a powerful statement. Made you walk upright, not just stand up, but made you walk with the full komimiyut, ve'olech ethem komimiyut, with this posture of firmness. And Abadia Sforna comments, and remember this commentator, Sephardic commentators, dates 1475 to 1550. We are at the time of Spanish Inquisition, and therefore he describes what the slavery could have looked like. Why, in the ancient world, breaking of the yoke, you actually could straighten your shoulders. Have you ever seen yoke on an animal that plows? Have you seen it? The head is down, the entire posture is very low because, of course, you know, it's a beast of burden. It has to cut the land, cut the ground, and produce and so forth, and it under unbearable burden. So he describes, and it's probably he uses a metaphor. He just said, well, probably Israelites, these our early Jewish people, what they were made to do was to lay on the ground and people would walk all over them. He's speaking about his reality of what it means to be a Jew during Spanish Inquisition and the hardships. What's interesting is that word komimiyut, that I will break eventually, God says, the yoke and of this oppression, and you will stand up. And there is a marvelous comment from the book of Ezekiel, where Ezekiel has the vision, another prophet, he has this extraordinary vision, and there is rainbow and light, and he's so absolutely touched by it and touched. He's overwhelmed. Can you imagine? He might be facing God. He drops on the floor with his head down, and he lays there. And God says to him, get up so I can talk to you. Actually, I want to talk to you not when you are laying down at awe of me. I want to talk to you when you're standing up, and only then, absolutely then, I will give you a mission to do something for your people, but not till you get up. Marvelous verse. So So many of you greeted me warmly, and I did miss you, but I do have to say that Sicily is an outstanding place of travel. So while I was missing you a lot, it didn't stop me from enjoying the part of that world profoundly. And we are in Palermo, and I am beautifully overdosing on gelato and shopping, honestly, and totally full transparent, and of course Italy. By the way, Ziva, the orange is in, that is the color, so right, and totally unabashedly orange and green, almost like a lime green. So the colors are stunning, the food is outstanding, the wine, a lively, lovely expression and of a country that is singing is fantastic. Palermo is fantastic. And there I see in the distance this lovely palace. And I say to Joel, I said, I want to go into the palace. There is this very ancient kind of a Gothic looking palace in Palermo. I said, I want to see what's inside because it looks like Romeo and Juliet, had they made it, would have lived there. He says, sure, let's go. And I'm expecting, what will I see? I will see nice big rooms. I will see lots of wood, or they've refinished. They took them near the decade to get it in shape. And it's Caramontesteri Palazzo. And it was built by this great noble, and then it was used for government offices. And except at 1600 to 1782, it was a seat of Spanish Inquisition. So Sicily, the reason Sicily is so exciting, right, is that it's kind of in the end, and it is a fascinating mixture of cultures. You had Spanish there, you had Nordic tribes, very interesting mix. But Spanish Inquisition spreads, and of course then begins its terrible work. So it takes about 300 years. And the seat of that Spanish Inquisition is right there in that palace. And so they take us through the rooms, and I progressively get very depressed, and I do not believe it's beginning to feel like vacation, but I can't stop. And when they scraped the alabaster from the room, around these cells, now you learn that people were kept there, you begin to see what people painted while they were incarcerated. And the guide I can't comment on her English, would be inappropriate considering I speak with an accent after all these years. I'm happy to catch whatever she can offer me in English. But it is who is held in these chambers over these decades, close to 250 years, who is held there? It would be Jews, new Christians, who are not trusted to be actually serious Catholics, and then the homosexuals and heretics. So basically, minorities, you are invited. Why? Land. Land. Spanish Inquisition was after land. It wasn't about heresy, it was about land. Because once you go into this little palace, the land is confiscated and somebody else is going to profit from it. So I look around and I'm fascinating because it takes centuries for these walls that are painted or not painted. They're drawn with some sort of a kind of like a chalk. And I'm curious to see, what did prisoners drew there? What was your message? Art is a message. And sure enough, there's lots of crucifixes. People are painting crucifixes. And I do wonder how much of it is actually a propaganda for inquisitors to believe that you're actually at this point, a good Catholic, and you can be maybe forgiven and let out of that, because what is the consequence is actually burning. And the burning takes place on this gorgeous plaza that I so much love to see, made out of cobblestones. So one drawing draws my attention, and what is there is yes, there is a crucifix, and then there's these figures kneeling. They're kneeling. And the figures who are kneeling and there are a number of them, and they're one after another, and they get smaller as they go. They're not well painted, but enough to know they're kneeling, and the names are inscribed underneath. And I'm following the names, and I can read Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Reuben. Right? And we get all the way to Joseph and Benjamin, and they are in a perfect order of the tribes of Israel. Whoever is drawing this kneeling picture, understands and knows extremely well the text. Because if you'll ask me, who spends her life, I'm not sure on a good day I will be able to recite to you all the tribes, all in order. Who came after whom? I would have to stop for a second and think, especially those in between. But whoever, without any, from its memory, draws, it's a deeply, deeply educated Jew, someone who grew up in a community who actually is trying to get their way out of this impossibility. I walked out, and even so, Joel made sure that I had triple gelato. I could taste nothing. We sat down and we just stared at one another, and we stared at this beauty of the country, beauty of fashion, beauty of art. And it took a while just to come to say that centuries ago, this was so painful for so many of our people. So let me just say that that night, I recited the Kiddush in Palermo, standing upright, near the open window of my Gothic hotel room, so loud that even the vendors could hear me. I recited a non-kosher wine because I didn't care, because Kiddush was more important whether I could buy kosher wine or not. I wanted them to hear that there are Jews out there. I wanted history to know that we're here, that there's going to be a bar mitzvah upon return that has been studied, prepared, with all the nerves and all the struggle. There will be a young man standing up and reading from the Torah. A Jewish life cannot possibly be measured in one lifetime. We transcend centuries. And then there will be a couple of Simon and Jessica standing under the chuppah, creating a Jewish home filled with knowledge and love and affection. There's so much more I can say. I like the sound of the silver against the wood, Judy. Thank you. I don't know what happened to those Torah scrolls that were used by the Jews of Palermo. But I do know what happens to our Torah scroll. And it is read every Shabbat. It's read on Chagim, on holidays. And it's read at the same cycle of the year as the Jews of Palermo and Sicily, and later on Argentina, and throughout the Jewish world, and now here in the sanctuary. Seth, the reason we have two wonderful young people sitting on a bima is because you were the first. I offered B'nai Mitzvah students, I said, come up with it with Danielle. I think it would be lovely to get our B'nai Mitzvah students sitting here with us before their day, because it will relax them and they become part of the ceremony. And it is Shabbat, and there is another bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, and it will feel really good. And it will take an edge off, a bit of nerves, they will be more relaxed. And you're the one who plunged in and said, fine, I'll do it. So you're sitting next to me, that was about a month ago, before I left, and I have, and all of us have, this marvelous outline, which connects us, connects Zoomers and all of us on the bima. And I'm notorious skipping my lines, everyone knows that, and fellow service leaders help out. You were sitting next to me. You followed the outline to the T. Your sense of detail is superb. And it was time for me to stand up. You said, it's your time to stand up. Seth, we stand up and we make sure others are standing. Kamemiyut, as proud Jews. Upright. When we break the yoke, when we look at our history and we say we can do it better this time, this year, because there is a democracy, but above all, there needs to be knowledge. So may you always love your people. And as you said to me in my study, you belong, and belonging for a Jew comes before believing. You belong with us. May your ancestors who are here today, your proud grandparents who invest and love this community with such passion, your family, your friends, celebrate this extraordinary moment. And dear parents, what a modeling. What a beautiful moment. Shabbat Shalom, Darchei Noam, this is our celebration. May we stand upright and hold each other as we continue.
We will now recite blessings for the state of Israel and Canada and our congregation. Please rise in body or spirit. ברכה למדינת ישראל. צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל ואת כל תושביה. הענק להם אומץ וחוזק לחפש שלום ושוויון. שלח אורך ובינתך למנהיגי המדינה, לשופטיה ולכל הבוחרים והממנים אותם. הגן עליהם ברוב חסדך. תנחה אותם בעצה טובה, למען ילכו בדרכיך, דרכי נועם וצדק. שים שלום בארץ ובסביבתה. מי ייתן ויתגשמו תקוותיה ושמחת עולם ליושביה ונאמר אמן.
Amen.
Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel and all her inhabitants with the courage and strength to pursue peace and equality. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Send your light and wisdom to Israel's leaders and judges and to those who elect and appoint them, guiding them with your good counsel and aligning them with your spirit of justice and kindness. Grant peace in the land and in the region, fulfillment of her people's hopes and joy for all who dwell there. V'simchat olam liyoshveha v'nomar amen. And happy Jerusalem Day coming up this week. Receive with compassion our prayer on behalf of our country and its government. Bless the rich tapestry of Canada that we may know the blessings of unity and inclusion. May we strive for true reconciliation and justice for all people within our borders. May our country be an influence for good within the family of all nations, helping to bring peace, justice, and freedom, and an end to strife for all. Bless this congregation as we discover the love of Torah, devotion and prayer, the rewards of tzedakah, the joy of community, and the gift of diversity. Bless all who enter this space and place of worship, that the kavanah here may be worthy of the greatness and love that is godliness, and that all who seek your presence here may find it, and let us all say,
Amen.
Please remain standing. Rob.
We are continuing on page 433 as we remain standing as a prelude to the returning of the Torah to the Aron Kodesh. Page 433.
And I call up for returning the Torah to the Ark. Oh, maybe I'll call you. Wait another couple of years. Blink, he'll be ready. I call 3 generations of Joseph, Michael, and Seth Vital as we return the Torah.
Beautiful.
And please rise.
Yehalelu et Shema Adonai, ki nizkav shemo levado, odo al eretz v'shamayim, vayaharem keren liyamo, tehila lechol chasidav, livnei Yisroel hamkerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We turn now to page 441. Uvnu choyomar. Ki lekach of natati lachem torati atazovu etz chaim למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכן העם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חודש חודש ימינו חודש ימינו
So in that moment, I would love to, those of you who hold babes and our young children, all to come forward for communal blessings. So please do not be shy. You remain standing. I'll ask you to turn to page 319.
You look very much too. And Seth. Where is Seth? We need you as a new adult member to hold one of the quarters. Yes.
So how many Jewish people does it take to unfold the Talmud? But we did it right. So the blessing for our children, and from there to all the children, universal blessing, our future, promise. They transcend. Yevavecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav alecha v'yichuneka.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Ken yehi ratzon.
May the Eternal bless you, protect you. May the Eternal face give light to you and show you favor. May the Eternal face be lifted towards you and bring you peace. And let us say,
Amen.
and we have something very sweet for you.
And we will remain standing as we turn to page 445. Momentarily, we will join together in the singing of Aleinu, page 445. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. כי מלכות שלך היא לעבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. And you may be seated.
And at this moment of our service, we remember In reciting the Kaddish, we affirm our awareness of holiness in our world. Much of our experience of divine goodness, grace, and love has come to us through those whose lives have touched our own. Rebecca Shammai remembers her mother, April Shammai. Mark Machen remembers his father, Chuck Machen. Marilyn Grunier remembers her father, David Bass. Ian Adler remembers his father, Eric Adler. Marcia Pascoe remembers her mother, Gertrude Silverman. Helen Fish and Harold Brief remember their mother, Goldie Brief. Vita Barron remembers her brother, Major Natterman. Kathy Lavinger remembers her mother, Marcia Lavinger. Donald Dupre remembers his father, Philip Dupre. Amy Black remembers her father, Sidney Black. Ruben Todres remembers his father, Simon Todres. Karen and Eric Weinthal remember their father, Arthur Weinthal. The following families are in a period of Shloshim. Gregory Hamovich is mourning the loss of his sister, Noni Hamovich. Are there any names that should have been called that was not spoken? Please do so. As well, I'm going to ask mourners and those who observe Yortzeit to rise. Also, those of you who are on Zoom, please, if the names were not recited, to post the names of your loved ones in chat and unmute and move a little bit away from the mic so you can receive resonance and respond in your Kaddish. The mourners' Kaddish are on page 451. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba. Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayochon v'yomechon v'chayeh dekol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala u'vizman kari v'imru. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Yehei shlama Rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'mrumav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel, ve'imru. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us and for all Israel and for all who dwell on earth, and let us say. We often dedicate this moment in the service to at times news that are more troubling than one would like to recite on Shabbat. Nevertheless, our community have been very closely linked to the community of Pittsburgh, who was housed in its Tree of Life synagogue. There was a number of communities. One of them was Reconstructionist. We made a link, extraordinary relationship, and ended up traveling to Pittsburgh at around period of Shloshim to support those Jewish people who were tremendously affected. The 11 people were shot in a synagogue, and 4 years ago. The trial is beginning now, and they interviewing jury, and so it's going to be a process of a very, very difficult period for the Pittsburgh Jewish community. So may I ask you to be this holy nuisance, write to our friends, reach out, call, it matters. I spoke to a number of these families, and our member Lisa Levinson, we've met these extraordinary people when they also came to be with us, and we loved them and treated them and celebrated their life and our Jewish future. And they are staying strong, and this process will take number of months. I needed to let you know about that. On a very, very moving life of a Jew is forever attached to celebration and l'chaim. And that is celebration on June 10th. Mark on your calendar. Unbelievable. Oh, sorry, June 11th, Sunday. Thank you. Darchei Noam, you get corrected very quickly, so this is easy. So it's Sunday, June 11th, 11 to 5 p.m., and this celebration of arts, and it's Feast for the Eye. We're a very talented community, so you just have to come and celebrate with us, artists and writers, and that would be an absolutely beautiful thing. And I think this is in celebration. I would like to also acknowledge Anna Bima. People said, who is who Anna Bima? Some of you know and some of you don't, who are with us for the first time. So first of all, I have a pleasure of sharing Bima with our Director of Jewish Living and Learning, who will be starting in July 5th, Ryan Leshner. Next time you will see Ryan, he will be Rabbi Leshner. And I will represent us on June 4th, I got that date right, in Boston for Ryan Leshner's ordination. And I remember 21 years ago of what it was like, as if the day seared in my mind, and to have people there who represent your life, your past, your parents, and the community you will be joining meant everything. So Ryan, we are all there for you, and I will bring you with me on that afternoon. And also, of course, those of you who are asking, who are these beautiful young people who will be coming up for their bar and bat mitzvah? No and Abe. So welcome, and would you wave to everyone, because they can. Some of them will be. Some of them will be, or many will be at your celebration. So this is good, life and beautiful. And in that spirit, Danielle Glucksmann, who's a coordinator, teacher, a lover of our children, please come forward for presentation of the gift. And by the way, those of you, the services are filled with great stuff, so it's, that's why it takes long. Come.
Seth. Seth, first, you don't annoy me, okay? And I have always liked you, so don't worry. I want you to know that I am very, very proud of you. Your hard work and dedication paid off. You are a very special young man who I have grown very fond of and will miss seeing in class. As you know, I am here to represent the Darchei Noam community to wish you Mazel Tov on your journey to adulthood. In this bag, I'm not going to open it, is a Maksor for our high holidays, a 3-month membership to the JCC, a tzedakah box, and of course your bar mitzvah certificate. Mazel Tov to you and your family.
And we continue with Adon Olam and Sfirat HaOmer.
Adon Olam is on page 459. Please join us. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra, Ve'et Nasra, Ve'hefso Kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Yikal, Ve'acharei
Shiloh,
וצוחני ואסרה וניסי ומנוסי מנת כוסי ביום אחד בידו אפירוכי בקישן באמירה אירוכי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם בו יצא מבית נשא ושכבתו כל הזין הלך שמו ניגע יחרי מזבוק הכל לבדו ישפוך הוא היה והוא ובפרי ותקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם בו יצא מבית נשא ושכבתו כל הזין הלך שמו ניגע יחרי מזבוק הכל לבדו ישפוך והוא היה והוא ובפרי והוא היה והוא
Within a moment, Rab Silver will lead us in Sfirat HaOmer and counting the Omer, but I wanted to make sure that all of you know that what's prepared for you is an absolutely scrumptious lunch, Kiddush lunch downstairs, and Vital family is so delighted that all of us will join. So thank you to everyone else, and please.
And as the rabbi indicated, it is now time in our service for Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer. Some of you more traditional folks who are engaged in daily prayer may be a little curious about this. It is the morning, not the evening service, where customarily this is recited together with a bracha. I'm looking at a gentleman here who is acknowledging that. But we, of course, do not engage on a regular daily basis for evening prayer. And so that we don't dismiss the importance of the counting of the Omer, we recite Omer counting each Shabbat service without the accompanying blessing. Now, accompanying me is this interesting, curious device. I want to see if I can invite some curious onlookers. They're thinking, what the blazes is this? This is a hexagonal, for those who are geometry specialists, beautifully put together creation from one of our congregants, Eric Mendelson, an actual Omer counting, but it looks rather complex. And if you're curious as to how it works, because it is set to the exact correct day, you'll see the little bead here. And if you're curious, please do not hesitate to come forward. I've invited people every week since the beginning of our counting this year. Not one person has come up, so it's time. Dayenu. Time, yes. Or no, actually, that's the wrong expression. It's not enough already, but rather, I invite you to do this. Okay. Hayom Shiva Ushloshim Yom Shem Chamisha Shavuot Ushnei Yamim LaHomer. This is the 37th day, making 5 weeks, and 2 days of the Omer.
And with that, we invite you to rise as we turn to Kiddush on page 465.
And let's invite our family to come forward, please.
We begin with Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat v'azot et Hashabbat ledot ha'veritot v'nir b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat v'azot et Hashabbat ledot ha'veritot כי ששת ימים
vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishnu b'nei Yisrael, etz haShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורות הדורות. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו, סברי חבריי.
Chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen. Perfect.
Say it first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, haborti lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat shalom. Take a piece. Enjoy. Share. But I'm going to get it off